Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session with a difference. It fuses a standard self-esteem and self-worth hypnosis session because there are many people that fundamentally, deep down at a conviction level, don't believe they are good enough. And one of the criteria that many people that don't believe they're good enough have for that evidence is that anything that they could have done slightly better, anything they could have improved on, is evidence that they're not good enough. And there's this never-ending attempt to always do better and better, knowing that it will never be enough. So it takes that idea, which is a very frustrating, unfulfilling belief system, integrates it with the idea of self-acceptance and feelings of self-worth, but connecting it to a metaphor of the telomere effect. Now, the telomere effect is almost this principle that fuses biohacking and kind of cellular science with kind of like the biohacking or the life hacking to improve physical health and well-being. And the function of telomeres are to replicate cells in a regular way, because cells divide and multiply, and that's how you have your body. Because when you were conceived, you were two cells fused together, and now you are billions of cells. The telomeres function is to ensure accurate, safe duplication of those cells, and that the cells do what they're programmed to do. But what science has shown is that things like your mood and your diet and your emotions can have a positive or detrimental effect on your telomeres. So at a cellular level, things like meditation, hypnosis, good diet, good relationships, laughter, these kind of things can actually improve your very being at a cellular level. So this hypnosis session takes the principles of the telomere effect, uses a story, and storytelling within hypnosis is a great way of introducing levels of disassociation, but also an element of childlike regression, because for the majority of us, we heard stories when we were a child. So it naturally takes us back to a point where we had a high level of neuroplasticity. So there's a few things going on here, but it's very useful for those people that maybe for decades have deep down believed that they're not good enough and that they never will be. And this introduces an idea of perhaps that isn't the best way of judging your self-worth. And if there was a different way, maybe you as a person and your cells would thank you for thinking in a different way. Of course, listen to this session, even though it was created for someone else, but you might find that it's beneficial to book a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me directly, and then we can delve into your specific issues, whatever they may be, and you can discover for yourself if I'm the right person to work with you and be your hypnotherapist, rather than just listening to the recordings. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a calm, slow, resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension or stress to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And if it's safe to do so, on the next outward breath, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine being a child in a magical kingdom. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine you're in a comfortable bed. And maybe you can imagine what it would be like to be perhaps 8 or 9 years old, feeling safe, feeling comfortable, in a bed, in a magical world, in a magical kingdom. Feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. And I wonder what it might be like to exist in a world where there's a strange rule. And in this magical world, in order to feel good enough, you have to do everything perfectly. In that reality, even the slightest thing you can improve is irrefutable evidence that you are not good enough. So breathe in and breathe out and imagine living in that world, being a child and believing that any time you could have done something slightly better means you're not good enough as you are. And I wonder how much stress, particularly unnecessary stress, you would encounter in that world. But just for the time being, imagine being a child that believes that they're not worthy, they're not good enough. And even when they exceed beyond their own expectations, when even they outperform all the other children of the same age, they still believe that if there's something they could have done better, then they're not good enough as they are. Hold on to that thought just long enough to consider the idea of changing it. And imagine there you are in that magical world, tucked up in that bed, being just 8 or 9 years old. And I want you to imagine there is a kind nanny that is about to read you a bedtime story. So feel how you would feel if you were 9 years old, being read a bedtime story by a kind, caring nanny. Breathe in and breathe out. Make yourself comfortable and relaxed as the nanny opens up a book and starts to read. She says, once upon a time, in the colourful village of Salandria, there lived a young girl named Tilly. Tilly was about 9 years old, with bright eyes full of curiosity, and a smile that could light up the darkest room. She was unique, not only because of her vibrant imagination, but also because she had a secret, a magical microscope that allowed her to see the tiny world inside herself, a world where the building blocks of life, called cells, were living and working. One fine morning, while Tilly was peering through her magical microscope, she noticed something she had never seen before. There were tiny little caps on the ends of her cells, much like the plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces. And these were called telomeres, and they were very special indeed. In Salandria, telomeres had a vital job. They kept each cell's story safe, making sure that as the cells grew and divided, they did so perfectly, without losing any part of their important tale. The longer and stronger the telomeres, the better the cells could share their stories and keep Tilly healthy and happy. Curious as ever, Tilly asked her friend Dr. Helix, the wise old owl of the village, about the telomeres. Dr. Helix, with his feathers ruffled in thought, explained, "Tilly, think of telomeres as guardians of your health. When you're happy, when you play and laugh, and when you know deep down that you're good enough just as you are, your telomeres stay strong. They help you grow up not just tall, but resilient and joyful." "But what if sometimes I feel sad or I think I'm not as good as I should be?" Tilly asked with a small frown. Dr. Helix hooted softly. "That's all part of the story, Tilly. Every hero in a tale has moments of doubt, but remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being you. And every time you remember that you are good enough, that you're worthy of love and joy, your telomeres listen, and they keep your story safe and strong." Tilly thought about her own story. She had days when she had made mistakes, days when her paintings didn't look quite right, or her sums didn't add up. But she also had days filled with wonder, when she learned a new word, or saw a butterfly emerge from its cocoon. With a new understanding, Tilly decided to do something special. She created a telomere diary where she wrote down all the things that made her feel good. Her mother's warm hugs, her father's bedtime stories, the way the sun painted the clouds at dawn, and even her friends' laughter. As days turned into weeks, Tilly noticed something wonderful. That the more she filled her diary with happy thoughts, the more she realized how good enough she truly was. She found joy in trying, in learning, and in simply being herself. And one night, Tilly looked through her magical microscope again, and to her delight, she saw her telomeres shining brightly, like tiny stars at the edge of her cells. They were strong and beautiful, reflecting all the love and joy she felt inside. And so, Tilly learned that she was the author of her own story, and that it was a magnificent one. She understood that each day was a chance to add to the tale, and that she was always good enough, just like the strong, protective telomeres that helped her to grow and thrive. And from that day on, Tilly carried with her the magic of the telomeres, a reminder that self-worth and happiness were the secret ingredients to a healthy and enchanting life. And in the village of Salandria, if you listened closely, you could hear the cells telling their stories, full of adventure, laughter, and the wisdom of a young girl who knew she was just right, exactly as she was. And with that, the nanny closed the book and said, "The end." Except it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a new way of thinking. And I want you to imagine visiting the magical land of Salandria. And I want you to imagine a house just like yours. And as you find a mirror, see yourself looking back. Not a 9-year-old, small child, but you, exactly as you are. And I wonder, as you stare at yourself in that mirror, whether or not we can activate your telomeres. As you look at yourself in the mirror, accepting that perhaps you've been good enough all along. And as you stare at yourself in that mirror, you may find it interesting to consider that each cell in your body has always been good enough, working tirelessly to support you, just as you are inherently good enough. And maybe you could imagine the telomeres at the ends of your chromosomes, protective and strong, reflecting the strength within you that has always been there, even if you hadn't noticed it before. As you breathe in and breathe out, you might become aware of your breath, in and out like gentle waves on the shore, each one whispering to you that you are more than good enough. With every breath, feel your self-belief growing, as if your telomeres are being bathed in the glow of your newfound confidence, becoming more resilient and vibrant. It's possible that you start to see past challenges not as evidence of inadequacy, but as stepping stones that have naturally led to a higher ground of self-empowerment. You could find that with each moment, the fabric of your beliefs is weaving a new pattern, one where you are undeniably, unconditionally good enough. And as days pass, You may notice that what you once saw as failure, you now see as the fertile ground from which your potential blossoms. And you may begin to appreciate that your desires for high standards are not a burden, but a gift, a sign of the care and passion you bring to the world. It's almost as if every cell in your body is resonating with the message of your true worth, echoing through the spaces within you, filling you with a sense of completeness. You may discover a quiet understanding that your worth isn't earned by perfection, but is an innate treasure, as natural and essential as the DNA within your cells. And use that power of your imagination to picture the telomeres protecting your genetic material, just as you can protect and nurture yourself, your self-worth, allowing it to flourish. And of course, it's possible that with every new challenge, you feel a sense of excitement, an opportunity to engage with life from a place of adequacy and enthusiasm. Each thought you have that recognizes your value could be like a signal to your telomeres, a signal that promotes vitality and health. And you may find that you're creating a powerful narrative in which you are the protagonist who has always been worthy, capable, and good enough. As you stare at yourself in that mirror, imagine your future, and you may see yourself meeting it with a new posture, one of confidence and a peaceful knowing of your inherent value. You could realize that your journey towards high standards has actually sculpted you into a person of depth, character, and remarkable capability. It's almost as if every time you acknowledge your worth, your body's cells respond in kind, maintaining their integrity and strength. You might be surprised by how natural it feels to replace old doubts with the empowering truth that you are and always have been more than enough. Consider how each action you take in this belief becomes a celebration of your worth, a confirmation of your ability to grow and thrive. You could observe that every instance of growth is now a joyous occasion, a testament to your ability to use your high standards to lift you even higher. It's as if your telomeres themselves are responding to your positive belief, supporting a body and mind that are in harmony with your true value. And you could find joy in the knowledge that your potential is not a destination, but a journey. And on this journey, you are always good enough. Notice your facial expression and body language is changing in that reflection of you in the mirror. And it's possible that you'll feel a profound connection between your thoughts of self-acceptance and the deepest levels of your cellular well-being. each day, you could see yourself as a skilled artist, using the palette of your experiences to paint a picture of a life lived fully and with a recognition of your value, of your worth. And every now and then, in quiet moments, you'll sense the profound truth that your worth is as constant as the stars, as expansive as the universe, and as undeniable as your existence and your very cells themselves. So breathe in and breathe out and notice a reflection of someone fully believing in their self-worth, full of self-acceptance, striving to move forward and get better, not because they have to, but because they want to. And feel yourself starting to leave the magical world of Salandria, finding yourself back in your body, fully in the present, accepting that all of this are just thoughts within thoughts, stories within stories, ideas within ideas, and dreams within dreams. As you fully return to the present, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling joyful, full of confidence and self-esteem, feeling that your telomeres are activated, and feeling a profound feeling of pure self-worth, and believing totally that you are good enough. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.